Let's be careful when we use the phrase, God told me to do this, or God told me to say this to you. And there's so many reasons why, but let's just look at two reasons at least. Number one, we're human beings, we're sinful creatures. Now, if you are saved from by putting your faith in Jesus Christ, then you are saved and you are seen in God's eyes as forgiven and clean. But we still have like sinful tendencies, and we still have these things that we struggle with. And so one of those things is our emotions. Not saying that emotions aren't a good thing. Emotions are great when you're trying to convey how you feel about certain things, but they can be tricky when you're trying to articulate what God is telling you. A lot of times when we have like a job uh, announcement, or when we think about changing jobs, or we think about a potential partner, or we think about any like life altering decision, we say to ourselves, well, I'm gonna pray on it and wait for God to give me the heads up. And a lot of times we might already have the answer in the back of our heads. We just act like, oh yeah, God's gonna let me know. Whole time it might just be you having that decision. You're not even consulting God. So that's the first thing. Like, you might say that you're waiting on God for an answer, but you made your answer up already. And the thing about it, bro, is like that's just how we are as people, you know? I wouldn't beat myself up over it. I wouldn't say, "Oh, I guess, whatever, whatever." But that's life. A lot of times we think that we hear from God, or we think that God told us something, but really it was our own intuition, it was our own thoughts, our own emotions, and we gotta chalk that up, you know? The second reason why it's not a good idea to say, oh, God told me this, or God said this to me, is that it creates confusion. Because let's run a scenario. You go to somebody and you say, God told me that you were supposed to be this. And then someone else, that same person, looks at you and say, well, God told me I was supposed to be that. Who's lying? Because God's not a liar. God's not the author of confusion. So somebody here is lying, and it's not God. So what I feel like is we should more so say, I feel led to do this. I've been thinking about this way. I think that God's been putting these thoughts in my head, and I feel led to do this thing over there, or that thing over there, whatever the case might be. And then finally, bro, last thing, if you are coming to a conclusion that's incongruent or isn't the same as what God says in His Word, then you're probably not hearing from God. Case in point, if you have a coworker, or maybe not a coworker, if you have somebody that made you angry and you prayed about it and thought about it, and you come to the conclusion of, I'm not going to forgive that person's dead to me, chances are that's not God talking to you, because Jesus tells us to forgive our enemies and bless those that persecute us. So if you're not hearing something, or if you're not coming to a conclusion that is in line with what God says about certain things, chances are you're not hearing from God. So I know I went on a little tangent today. I just want to let you guys see what's up. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Um, y'all be safe out there. All right, peace.